Hi, I'm Mike from Become a Better Guitar Player, and today I'm going to give you my top 7 tips for becoming a better guitar player. These tips work for people of any age. My biggest clientele is over the age of 65, so you're never too old to learn how to play guitar. So to begin with, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been playing guitar for over 40 years. I never made a living at it. I always played in bands and taught people. I made enough money to buy guitars and guitar strings and kind of support my hobby. I retired from my day job 4 years ago. So now I have more time to concentrate on my guitar playing, and I can learn things that I never really had the time to learn before, some complicated things that just take a long time and things I just want to learn. And it's really become a more rewarding hobby for me now that I've retired, because I can devote more time to it and enjoy myself. So if you like my videos and you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It's entirely free and it really helps us out a lot. And it's fairly easy to set up on YouTube. It doesn't cost anything. You just make an account, then click subscribe. And then when we come out with a new video, you'll get a notification. All right? So let's start off with my 7 tips. So tip number 1, when you sit down to practice, first thing I do is I take off my wristwatch. Then I get comfortable. I like to sit on, I have a bar stool that's got a pad on it. This is sort of a natural way for me to play my guitar, and it feels really good. Some people sit on the couch. Some people like to sit on a kitchen chair, prop their foot up on a stool. Whatever works for you that makes you more comfortable. Naturally, if you do it every time, you get more out of your practice, and you don't have a sore back from it or anything. I still, being an older guy, sometimes I have to get up and walk around a little bit because my back hurts. But I sit in the same place and kind of do the same thing every time. So my next tip is, especially for us old guys, but this goes with anybody, is I need to stretch out. Not like lifting weights, but close. So I have problems with my hands getting stiff, and my wrist and some of my fingers, and I've broken some fingers and they're a little goofed up looking, but I can still play. So what I do is I stretch my wrists out like this. Then I do this. I can feel that in my wrist, my forearms here. And then I grab each one of my fingers and I squeeze them like this and roll in between my fingers. I get my knuckles, the area between my knuckles too. And when I do this, I can feel my whole forearm loosening up. So I worked with my hands for over 35 years, so my hands got a little beating over the years, so this really is important for me. Sometimes I do this for 10 or 15 minutes. Some people have told me they like to put their hands in warm water before they play. I don't do that, but I understand why that would help you out. So once you're all warmed up, your fingers are loose, first thing you need to do is you need to tune up your guitar. Electronic tuners, they're the greatest invention there ever was. When I started out, we didn't have these. I had a tuning fork that I could tune my E string to, and then I tuned my other strings off of it. I could tune my guitar. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it's immensely easier with an electronic tuner now. I think I paid $5 for this one. They're very, very common place in any music store, and they're very inexpensive. And when I practice, I take my time when I tune up, and I really make sure my guitar is tuned well, because there's nothing worse than you'll have a hard time with a song, especially songs that have some first position chords, and then Then you find out later the reason why you had problems learning is because your B string was out of tune or something like that. So I take my time and tune up really, really well. So when I get all tuned up and I start playing, instead of jumping right into a song, I like to jump into some things that get my right and left hand synchronized a bit. By playing the chromatic scale, I just start out by getting my fingers working and getting my hands synchronized. That's always been my problem, to get my picking hand tuned up with my fretting hand. So I like to do that. And then I'll play familiar first position chords. And what I always tell people, I do my ABCs with my chords. I'll go A, D, I like to play those chords. It's fine to play bar chords, but bar chords are a little repetitious, where you're just moving up and down the neck. Whereas when you play simple first position chords, first of all, as a beginner, you learn those. And there's a lot more going on changing between those chords than just simply moving a bar chord to another fret. So I like to go through these first position chords. As long as I've been playing, if I start out playing those first position chords, by the fifth time around, I sound entirely different, just because it's what it takes for me to warm up. And then I think I like to play some sort of a simple, familiar song that I've been playing for years and years, just to kind of get my just to kind of, something I don't have to think about too much. Just kind of gets me into the spirit of playing my guitar. So that was my number 5 tip. Now, tip number 6. I always like to work on something new. What do you learn when you want to learn something new? Well, you'll never run out of things that you have to learn on guitar, but don't dwell on things that you have to learn. There's some things you have to learn, right? You got to learn chords. You got to learn some scales. If that's all you do, though, learning guitar won't be that much fun. So make sure you learn things that you want to learn. When you started playing guitar, I know when I started learning how to play guitar, I wanted to play Van Halen and Led Zeppelin music. It was a little out of my league at the time, but that's what I wanted to play. So over the years, I really took my time and learned some of their music because I enjoyed it. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have lost interest in it. I'm lucky I had a guitar teacher right from the beginning that, like, his first lesson is, who's your favorite guitar player? What kind of songs do you want to learn? And I think I said, Eddie Van Halen, I want to learn how to play Eruption. And he said, well, you probably can't play that right now. But he showed me how to play. A simple part to a Van Halen song. Did I learn how to play the entire song? Did I play it like Eddie Van Halen? Not even close. But I enjoyed it. I could show my friends that I could play Running with the Devil, or the chords to it anyway. I don't know, it made me feel good when I played it. So always be sure you learn things that you want to learn, in addition to the things you have to learn. You really, really need to learn some scales and some chords. You just have to. It's part of it. But make sure you learn some songs along the way. When you're learning songs, learn songs that you can learn all the way through. And when you start out, it's not going to be every Van Halen song. It's going to be some songs that have a lot of beginner chords. I encourage you to learn songs that are you can learn from beginning to end. Take the time to learn them beginning to end and play along to the recording of the song. I think this is very important. As a beginner, I made the mistake to just learn a couple of chords to a bunch of songs, and I didn't really know anything all the way through when I first started out. When I really sat down and started learning things beginning to end, it made a much better guitar player out of me. And if you're trying to learn something and it's just out of reach, don't be afraid to say, well, I'll come back to this, and come back to it in the future. Don't dwell on it and waste lots of time on it. Just say, well, I can't play this one. Go back to something that had some simple chords, and then you'd be surprised in a couple of months, you might be able to play that song really easily. You can always come back to a song, but don't spend a month trying to learn a song that's a little out of your league. I don't think that's practical. You can learn 10 easier songs and get a lot more from it. So my 7th tip, probably one of my biggest ones, I think, is always learn songs that make you happy. When I was younger, heavy metal was a big thing, and I enjoyed Metallica and Megadeth. I even liked playing some of their music. But at the end of the day, I still like to play music by bands like Led Zeppelin and Yes, and a few other bands that weren't exactly heavy metal bands. They had a lot more, color to their music, a lot more pretty chord type stuff. So when I quit trying to make my friends happy and learn songs like Metallica, which I love, don't get me wrong, and went back to learning the music I really enjoyed, then I liked to play my guitar again. So that's probably my biggest tip, I think. You'll never get tired of playing guitar if you're learning songs, if you're learning the music that makes you happy. Learn the music you listen to in your car on a day-to-day basis, and you'll always love doing it. So, and I have an 8th tip. It's my bonus tip. So this is probably my best tip for practicing. When you practice, you got to do it frequently. I think you'd come out ahead practicing 15 minutes a day, every day of the week, as opposed to practicing, say, 6 hours on Saturday. I would say a half an hour practice every day as a beginner is really a good practice routine. An hour would be better. And if there's a day on, say, Saturday that you have the day off and you want to do it longer, that's always great. But not playing your guitar throughout the week and then trying to cram like you're getting ready to take a test on Saturday, I don't think is really conducive to playing guitar very well. So it's not even that fun either. So you bought your guitar, it's yours. Learn the music you want. I hope you like this. If you do, like and subscribe to our channel. It's completely free and it helps us out a lot. And we'll see you. Thank you.